We live. We live. I think we are. Let's try that again. We live. We live. We live right now. All is well. Today is, what is today? June 16th, 2024. Doing pretty good right now. Yeah. So, what am I going to talk about today? Let's just get right into it. Today's Father's Day. These two damn small dogs, well, one small and one is big, woke me up today. I wanted to sleep in for a little bit longer, took some melatonin, but those dogs were not having it. So I'm up right now. It's a good thing I set the stuff up. So we'll see how long we go for. I don't know how long we're going to go for. I always say that and manage to talk for 30 minutes. But we shall see. Let's see. Let's see. I got coffee in front of me because this is kind of a coffee podcast. So let's sip and drink. And I got this April brewer right here. Two pours, 190 degrees, 30-second bloom. I'm not feeling this coffee. I'm really not feeling this coffee. This is the Colombian, not the Kenyan. This is the Colombian coffee. I tasted it yesterday too. Kind of more so the same, but used the switch with the Melita filter. I did the same thing with the all that grapefruity stuff is coming in. So if you don't want no grapefruit type of taste, I would say like 185 should probably do it. I think I did one pour. I can't remember what I did. It doesn't really matter. I don't like the different variations that I'm getting from this coffee, and it's kind of tasting similar to that Kenyan. This is a light roast. This is 75 whole bean reading and 73 ground. So this is still right up there as a light roast. You know, still acidic, mainly grapefruit taste. So this is hot. This is the hottest it's going to be. It's going to cool down. So we'll test it out again. But yeah, I'm not feeling this coffee so much. Don't know why. I can't find sweetness. And I'm going to try it one more time as a medium roast. We may just put this experiment to bed. I don't know really what to say about that. This is the second time in a row that this has happened. I try to give it a shot, another shot. Try to see if I can find something from this coffee that I like. But we'll see. I think I'm too concentrated on it. That could be it too. And we're going to try a couple of different things to see if we can get there a little bit, right? So we're going to try a true medium. Probably like a 65, something like that. I need to check the actual dials on it or something, but probably a minute and 30 seconds to get to the medium side of it. Not rush it, but just make it sure that it gets there. I may roast it today. But yeah, I'm just sitting here just like not too happy, mainly because the dogs woke me up and I don't really know what to make of this coffee. And again, as I did a couple of months ago, like the state of coffee. Again, I wonder if it's me. I do have a cool concept idea that I'll be working on in the next couple of weeks. But we'll see. We'll see how that works, right? Because I think that's going to be the biggest thing as we go through this hoopla of coffee. And I think that's the biggest thing, or why this is pissing me off, is that coffee, I wish it would taste better. I don't know if it's just me just drinking my coffees, but I don't make the coffee. I don't process it. I just roast it. And I roast it so many different ways and so many techniques that even if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably going to hit it once or twice, right? since I do know what I'm doing, that's the disappointing thing about all of this is that I'm really trying to understand coffee more so now than anything. And I will try different coffees, but I should try it from different purveyor just to see if what I can taste is what it is. That's what I'm thinking about doing now. I haven't done that in a while because the thing about the current state of my business is that it's extremely expensive to buy higher end, more expensive coffees in a smaller quantity. And at this company, I can do that quite easily. You know, only commit to not even a third, but like probably like a fifth of a bag. That's why it's more expensive, but still, it's interesting. It's interesting, kind of like thinking about these experiments for what they are, and I'm really working on trying to fix a couple of things. Meaning that I keep coming back to this word. Did I write it down? I didn't write it down. Value, 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 and what value do I actually give you? Because there's a lot of YouTube channels out there that are kind of giving you value in the coffee world, right? Or any, I wouldn't say they were entertaining, so to speak. Some of their personalities do come out, but the value part. And truthfully, I don't really care about other people's channels. There are a couple that I do subscribe to, but I'm mostly on a, if I listen to things and all that stuff when it comes to coffee, there's only like two or three that I actually listen to. And I tend to stay in my like food type of way. So I do listen to a lot of food channels, business because I'm in business. Sometimes lawn care. I'm just all over the place sometimes. When I look and view things when it comes to YouTube, fun and discovery, camera gear, videography, audio, and all that good stuff. Hell, right now, it's past year. I think I bought a total, almost a year since I've been doing this. I bought a total of one, two. The daughter has the mic that she's destroyed. Two. And then there's another mic that's this, behind the camera. That's three. And then I have another mic on top of this camera just to pick up audio so I can sync it later. Then I have my Rode system. So I have five mics and I love them and they all were different. So I'm going down this rabbit hole and all that good stuff, right? This one's not bad. It does need some EQ, as they would say, but I will work on that as we continue to get better at all the things that we're doing. And yeah, so I don't know what I'm trying to say right now. I'm looking at this list, as you see on the screen, is that this is a list. This is a list that I usually have that I just talk about things. And this is a long running list of podcast ideas that, as you can see, I only have a couple of things. If you zoom in, I only have a couple of things of that I've actually talked about. And something pretty interesting. Like this one, I don't even know how I'm going to really talk about this one. How perfecting chicken breast has helped my roasting. Okay, I did this one already. I failed at photography. Some of my favorite YouTubers. Yeah, okay. My other hobbies. Let's talk about soup, which I did. That was interesting to me. But again, it comes back to as I do these podcasts and they're out in the world, yeah, I'm just talking, but I do want to give some type of value back. And I think that's still me discovering my way. But I also have to have fun with it too. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think as I get older, I'm not so much of a fan of the crazy, intense acidity in my face. I do want that balance. Don't get me wrong. I don't want a Brazilian every day. Brazilian every day for you, that's a different story. But yeah, I think it's just too much. And I think that's the reason why light roast to me now gets a bad name. Not a bad name, but it's true. A lot of times when you taste light roast, they all taste the same. I remember when I went to Seattle, that's how it was. Went to Seattle, hopped over, went to Vancouver, and we had a mini coffee pub crawl, right? And when we did that, it was interesting because all of the coffees tasted the same. No matter what they said that was on the bag or on the top of the board that told you what you will probably taste, you didn't really taste that. None of that shit. You just tasted high acidity type of coffees. No sweetness on it whatsoever. This is what this tastes like. So this is a light roast. I wonder if the medium roast is going to get any better. I'm going to have to roast that today. I'm just going to have to roast that today. Let it sit and be ready for it early. I really do want to see if I can taste what I need to taste from that coffee. This is a slower type of roast. This is a 10-minute. This is more so ideal, the type of roast that I like to do on coffees. And it's that more so brings out the best out of the coffee. But this coffee is just, I'm just too close to it. I don't know what it is. I just don't really know what the hell this coffee is. And I think that's the part that's pissing me off about this. And I know this is my opinion. I have given this coffee out to one or two people. And if I was actually trying to sell this coffee is not ready for market. Yeah, I can lie and tell you exactly what the exporter importer told me that was on it, even if I'm not feeling it. And if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. It's one of those things where again, marketing and aligning your values with what you're truly trying to say, that's the thing that is kind of telling with this. So this coffee is, I don't know. That's a pretty cool picture right there. Where's my camera at? That's pretty cool. That is really cool picture. There we go. I don't know what this is for. I don't do no community pages no more. I just like how three, they're in a row. The microphone, the coffee, and the coffee brewer. Let's talk about this coffee brewer real quick. You see, I don't really talk about this brewer that much. I mean, this brewer actually brings out, to me, not the best in coffee. I'm not bashing it. I think this is more so the tendencies that I do get from what the hell is this called? Cone? Is this a cone? I don't know what this is. It's a circular type of brewer. whatever. It's not a like a V60. It's not like a actual cone type of brewer. It's a one that has sides and ridges and stuff like that. I had a Melita, and this is a Melita filter. I know he preaches really hard about April Brewer on the his filters and all that stuff. Just get the Melita filters. I mean, truly, I try to find the April filters, and I can't find them. I mean, I'm sure they're probably somewhere in the U.S. I think he's mentioned it a couple times, but just use the Melita filters. I know he may say it tastes better in his filters, but these type of brewers, they taste kind of the same. To me, they bring more acidity out of the coffees. I don't know the science of it. I just like the way I'm probably more biased towards the Hario V60 filters, drippers, and all that good stuff. I don't know what it is, but I think it's something dealing with the ridges, how they kind of just hold coffee quite a bit. But why do I actually have this? This is not actually in the US. I mean, I think it's starting to get there. Probably there are some distributors that actually have it. So my brother, we've all traveled here and there, but he's the one who kind of really took the kick of traveling. So I think when he was in college, after college, he eventually traveled to different parts of Europe. And one of the peoples that he met along the way were Australians. Truthfully, Australians travel like nobody's business. They travel all the time. I remember when I traveled here and there around all the places I went, I've always met some Aussies, you know. So he met some Aussies. They're cool people. They told him about their motherland, and he was like, I don't really have anything tying me there. So he went to Europe. Okay. Really, Australia. Is that the same? I don't know. So he went there for a while, met a girl, woman, fell in love, and they, live in Australia for a while. She's from Denmark. Her parents are from Denmark. So he moved to Denmark, and he's been there for a while. And a couple years ago, had a friend that had a bachelor party, and I decided to make a trip out of it. So I think I was out the States for like a week. Went to Mykonos first for a couple of days, get drunk and get just to drink too much. And then him and I went to Denmark. And it was cool because I always wanted to go to Denmark. And one of the places that I did go in Denmark was April Brewers or April Coffee Roasters or April. They just call them April. And I was like, I need to go there. I one of the few coffee YouTube videos that I actually subscribe to. So I wanted to get the experience of going to the shop. I wanted to see if I can talk to somebody probably. I wanted to taste some coffee on the spot. I wanted to get a bag or two. And I went ahead and bought a April Brewer, which is this thing right here. I went ahead and got this funky color, green. Is this thing broken? Fuck. No, it's not. It's designed pretty well, you know. So that's what I did. I got this, got the coffee, took the coffee home. I got some other coffee too. I wasn't too I wasn't too impressed with the coffees that I did get there, which is kind of ironic because Denmark is known for their coffee quite a bit, known for a lot of stuff. Their food is amazing, but something about the coffee. I don't know if it was just a Nordic thing or just a really light roast type of situation here. Because, people say situation a lot, try to be cool. And that was the thing. So I got my bag of coffee. I think I got my brother to taste some of it. They said, oh, it's fine. It's tasty. Because, when you think about this stuff a lot, is that you have this higher end coffee with the perceived value that it is what it is, right? Like this Colombian right here, right? But the way you market and talk to people about your coffee, you demand different things when you drink the coffee, right? But I'm as objective as it get, I think. I know there's other people that are just as objective with coffee or with products and everything. But I think the biggest thing really is about, I'm like, okay, what am I really getting at? What am I really tasting? What am I getting to a place of really understanding how somebody puts out their business? So the experience was really good. I think I managed to meet one guy. We talked for a while. He's from like Asia somewhere. I think he's from Taiwan. He was there for a couple of months. We chatted here and there online, and it was cool just to talk to people about coffee. And I think that's one of the things that I'm hoping to get out there a little bit more as I do these podcasts. I can talk to myself all day long. I'm sure you guys don't mind hearing me talk. The people who get past a minute or two. But the thing about it is that when you really get down to it and taste the coffee for what it is, that's the thing that really gets you thinking and trippy and all that. And the beauty of me kind of like being in that element even more so than what I'm used to or accustomed to is that really the best part is that I didn't make the coffee. Not initially. Because I have my ways of doing things. I challenge my way, but at the end of the day, I have my ways of doing things. I'm only going to do it the way that I think that's going to produce the best coffee. And I treat most of the coffees more so the same. I'm sure you do too. You have your go-to recipe. You probably venture out a little bit, but for the most part, you are doing the things that you always do, no matter what they say when you get the coffee. So that's kind of like the situation. But the best part about dealing with that circumstance when I was at April's is that they made the coffee. They brewed the coffee. It was just literally a single cup of coffee that they brewed. Right? And that was cool because the only thing that I had to do was drink it, either appreciate it for what it was. And I think that's the part that I'm kind of missing. Drink it, appreciate it for what it is. And they brewed it, they roasted it, and they brewed it the way that they felt that was going to be the best way to drink the coffee. Right? And I think that's the thing that we get carried away with, and that's one of the appreciations I do have with coffee shops. But again, when you do it that way, a lot of times is that you're giving it to me the best way that you can make it. That you believe that you're making it the best way. So I'm just here to drink it and to judge it for the way that you think that you. Because if I take home the bag, brewed it my way, you can easily say that you didn't do it right, which that is probably true. But for the most part, I heard this other thing somebody was talking about because some other roaster guy was also talking about this, and it's true. It's like, yeah, I have a tendency that people have a hard time making roasting coffee, blah 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 blah. And the other guy on the other end was more so like a business guy, but likes coffee. He was like, I don't think it's that complicated. You just make the coffee. So I think that's where I'm getting at. I think I do have a couple of coffees that I do have that are what they are. They are great as the jam that they are, right? The experience that you get from that coffee. And people, no matter which way that they put it in their coffee machine, comes out just fine. But when you give somebody a coffee and you brewed it in a way that you meticulously dialed in for that coffee for that time being, all I have is the pure form of what you think is the best of that coffee. It was okay. That coffee was okay. I think I either bought that coffee, but I bought either one or two bags, right? Went ahead and did the TDS. The TDS was just, it was fun. I think it was like 80, 82, 83 inside and out. So it was roasted really well, you know? So the coffee was okay. It wasn't bad. Is it, but then we're getting back to, was it X amount of dollars better than what you'll get everywhere? It's better. Don't get me wrong, but is it that much better? Is it this like a foot better comparison? Kind of thinking about it that way, or is it just a little bit better, or is it like 3 or 4 inches better than what you typically get in the grocery stores? Because that's the thing about it. I wasn't interested so much of when I started to give out this coffee to my brothers, because think about it, my brother, more so him and his wife, 2 kids. That's my market. People who work every day, who do their things, who are happy. And coffee is not the number one priority, but they host parties from time to time. And they are they have other interests, you know? So as they have other interests, those are the things that you're really trying to get at and trying to understand even more so of like, how does this person really have their coffee? And when we went through the supermarket many times, it's like he just picked up a big bag of coffee and I peppered him with questions. I was like, okay, what do you like about this? It's relatively cheap. Do you like the taste of it? And it's okay. Okay. Would you buy better coffee if you, yeah, but it's more expensive. Do you get more from it? No, not really. And that's the weirdest thing about it. It's like when I was talking to him, and what I got in Denmark was that people were just trying to find some decent coffee to drink. You know, they have families and shit, and they have other things to worry about. They have other interests and stuff. They weren't like this coffee like geek that like lived and breathed and everything was coffee, and they like did different brews and have different rituals and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, that stuff is cool. I'm do that all the time. But the biggest thing about all of this is that you gotta figure out what your market is, and it's always, you play this game as a business owner and as a person who's trying to give a product that they represent and love and cherish and all that good stuff, right? But you have something that you're trying to give to somebody, and you just want them to be happy. And you don't want to bullshit them. And at the end of the day, you still want them to keep coming back to you, right? Because that's how a business is sustainable, really. If you have this one hit wonder, the person that comes here and there to drink your stuff and they like it or they don't like it, they're still cool with you. They're just moving on to the next thing, you know? But how can you really survive? That's really the thing. That's really the kicker. That's the thing that I think about all the time. It's like, how can you give something to somebody that they love and cherish all the time? And let's say they do have a couple rotations of coffees and all that stuff, right? That's cool. But I guess what I'm getting at is that, who is your market? Who are you really talking to? And if that coffee that you're selling for 2 to 3 times the amount is only a fraction of a percentage better than what you usually get all the time, it's more so like a no-brainer. Probably you do get that coffee from time to time. You get that April coffee. You do get this everyday beans coffee. And but you get it to the extent where it's more so like a holiday thing or a weekend thing. That's one thing that I notice, and that's one thing that pissed me off. I know a lot of times when you think about it, when you equate that price to special, you tend to want to hold on to it a little bit more. You don't want to drink it every day. That's kind of like a lot of things that I got from the farmers market, dealing with those type of customers. Those are the customers that I want. That's the customers that will gravitate to the things that I think that matters the most, because those customers know that coffee is important. They like it, they cherish it, but they don't want it to be their world, right? They just want it to be a part of their lives, part of their ritual, part of like, just like, I like this coffee. Like, for instance, when I went to a party yesterday, one of the guys, he was like, "Hey, um, yeah, I'm more of a breakfast blend type of person from Costco." And I'm like, "That's awesome, because you're kind of my client." Don't get me wrong, I love playing around with this exotic, crazy processing type of Colombian coffee. I love that stuff. That's really what kind of gets me going into like really understanding where the state of coffee is, which, I'm not too fond on or too happy about right now. But that customer who likes that Brazilian, who like drinks that all the time, that's where it's at. That person's consistent. They're honest a little bit more so than the specialty person who just kind of just surfs around and just keeps going on to different things, different adventures. And that's the thing about it. That's that person's journey. That's that person's journey of discovering coffee. And I think that's the beauty of like my setup right now. Because yeah, I do would like you to buy my coffee as much as and as often as possible, right? But as I do these videos and understand what value is to you, is that I can still be a part of your journey. I think that's the beauty of at least YouTube marketing, about putting myself out there, is that you probably won't buy crap from me, you know? But through my tips and tricks of brewing and even probably roasting, which I'm not really going to do anymore, because that's, why would you want to really know about roasting? Go somewhere else. And that video kind of flopped. So is that, which I'm actually happy about, because people are there for the brewing, is that if I can help you along your way of your journey, or whichever way you go about it, if you like coffee hop, bar hop, do your thing and all that stuff, right? I think that's going to be the biggest thing and the biggest teller about all of this. And I think as we go through this and understand coffee even more so, and understand it from your point of view, I think that's the biggest thing, because I understand what I like about coffee. I I love it so much, but I want to know why other people love it. And I think that's a curious thing. That's the reason why I'm wanting to do more videos with other people, to get their perspective. We're going to talk about other stuff too. Don't get me wrong. But I think the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway about this is that I want to understand how people tick and go about their day with their coffee and how they enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, it's helpful also to kind of see what they like, what they don't like in coffee. So then I can probably tailor my pitch and my approach and all that good stuff, right? But I think the biggest takeaway of all this stuff that I'm really trying to get at is that even though I say I don't like people, I like people. Especially when we were talking about life, things we like, things we don't like, right? And why we don't like it. I think that's the beauty of all this stuff. So I ramble. I don't know really what I'm talking about. Today was a more so like a randomness of like thoughts, and got up too early, and excuses, right? And I think sometimes I need to slow down a little bit. But I guess what I'm saying is that this is fun for me. This is cool. And I like the discovery of like, even though I don't care for this coffee or this brewer, it's still fun. Think about it. Somebody has spent time. I don't think you need another coffee brewer out there, but I'm sure people will say, I don't need another coffee podcast or YouTube channel that talks about the same shit everybody else does, right? That's true. And I think that's the part that I'm figuring out slowly. But this person spent time to make this and make it better and keep making it better and try to understand what they're doing. I could appreciate it that I could appreciate it for that. I could appreciate all of this for the things that people like to do and like to express themselves. And I think that's the beauty of all this is that we're in a place in the world to where we can really understand and have fun and cherish the things that we're trying to do. So I can have respect and appreciate it for what it is. But if I don't like it, I don't like it. I'll tell you reasons why. And again, like I said, it's not so much uniqueness to just April Brewer. It's more so to like this cone type of shape with this velvety or type of rigid type of thing that tends to like clog or keep coffee and not extract the whole thing. And to me, it produces a acidic type of taste of coffee. It enhances it. It like wakes it up even more so than the V60 to me. At least in the V60, I'm not sure you can pulse it and do different things. I know he likes to do like a middle pour and then a circle pour around to make sure you saturate the grinds and all that. You can do that with everything, right? But some way it still kind of produces that type of coffee that I'm not too fond on. And even with the V60, I get that from time to time too, especially with this coffee. This opening right here, that's not a bad opening. And he's also said that, it's designed for lighter roasts. I don't know if that is more so true for most coffees. I think for the most part, you can get the best out of coffee no matter which brewer you use to an extent. I mean, you're not going to put a light roast Mr. Coffee in this machine with very fineness in there and get a fantastic cup of coffee or not. We'll probably talk about that in the next couple of days because I actually did a video about the Mr. Coffee that I'm going to start playing around with soon. So, I don't know really what I'm saying right now. I think I'm worked up. I think I just want to chill on Father's Day. We'll see how much I actually chill. And like I said, the experience at April was really cool. But again, when you take something home and you try to apply it to things that you're doing, like doing a little reconnaissance investigation on, I won't even say the competition, but just how other people do it, is that you really wonder how things really work. You really wonder how, like, okay, how is this really sustainable? Who's your market? What are you selling? What are we really getting at here? What are we getting to the point of really trying to understand what somebody's trying to do? And how does it really relate to you? That's the part that really excites me about all of this. Is like, how does all of this really work? Because it's kind of bizarre how somebody can put themselves out there and hope for the best and do things and pivot and change and understand the client even more so. That's the thing about this. And that's the thing that, I was telling my wife yesterday. We'll end on this. So I don't know how long this video is. It is 30 minutes. Yeah, I still managed to get to 30 minutes. I was trying to do 10, 15, but I guess that's the saga of me doing these all the times. And I guess that's the part I'm about to make right now. Is that I was watching this YouTube channel and he was talking about barbecuing and competitions and stuff. And I told my wife, which is it's true, which I don't understand competitions too much. Competitions are, I think it's just a way to compete. But I'm sure there's more to it than that. Is I'm more on the Japanese side of it to where I'm just trying to get better than myself. I look at other people's for inspiration, but I'm trying to get better for myself. But he was talking about like, what's the point of competitions? Is it to win the wars? Is it to sell more barbecue, spices, and all that good stuff? Is it, what is it? What is the point of a competition? You know? And and there's a lot of things that he did get from it, right? But one of the things that I've noticed with things in general is that it's like reps in the tank. And as I was talking to my wife, kind of like detoured and talked about how a lot of things are related to each other, is that is that when you're talking or dealing with somebody, and for instance, I use the barista for instance. I make and brew coffee all the time. I probably brew coffee normally about once to twice a day. If I'm like geeking out and doing some YouTube videos, it could be 3 to 5 a day, right? But I don't make nowhere near the amount of coffees as it comes to when dealing with as a barista. Barista does 15 in like 10 minutes, you know? So they're like skill and efficiency is like through the roof just because of the reps in the tank, right? And I think that's the thing that I can't wait to get to. It's just like these videos or these podcasts that I'm getting more comfortable in front of the camera. You kind of really see that I'm less fidgety. I'm like, whatever. The point I'm making is that you get to get more of who I am because I'm getting better about releasing these videos and expressing myself in front of this camera, in front of this microphone and all that, right? So I guess what I'm saying is that it's about reps in the tank. It's about doing something consistent enough to get better and get good at it for real. And as you do that and get better and understand the things that you're trying to do, that's really the only way to really get better. And as I do this and understand people even more so, the amount of knowledge that I will gather, the amount of experiences that I will have, that's the thing that I'm really trying to understand even more so. And I can't wait to really just get out there, talk to more people, and then just kind of see where it goes. Because that's the biggest thing about this. Just see where it goes. That's the fun part about it, really. Because you don't know. You don't know that by talking to a couple more people and you kind of get the same thing, you will probably pivot in so many different ways to the point to where you're like, I found the way. Or somebody is interesting enough to where you're like, I can see your point, you know? This is usually when it tastes the best. His coffee. We're done. Grapefruity. I do have a grapefruit that I'm about to eat to see if I'm kind of crazy. And it's actually gotten worse. So, yeah, we are back to the drawing board, but that's fine. We're going to go for a medium roast. We're going to see if we can find sweetness in a medium roast. I think I did find sweetness in a light roast. And the recipe that I found that kind of worked was 185 degrees. You bloom it for about 30 seconds, 45 seconds. And then you do one pour, a slow pour, for however long that you want to take out the coffee. So if you're doing a 1 to 15, you already did your math. That's where it's at. I think that's the best that I can do for this coffee to extract as much sweetness of this coffee the way I've done it as a light roast. The other way that I've done it too was a faster roast, probably like a 30-45 second developmental pace. That one to me is a little bit more acidic. So I think the next time I approach it is that I'm just going to do it nice and slow, get it to where it needs to, pull it at 130, a minute and 30 seconds, and see where that goes. We're going to do 2 or 3 of those. Just kind of make sure I get there. And probably change it up just a little bit. Probably do like if it falls where it falls, I'll figure that out. But that's what we're going to do. And we're going to use the test one of the Brazilian to see if I can gauge or or find that sweetness. And we'll go from there. Sumatran was more so the same. Not much sweetness. It did come through a little bit more with that ratio, with that brewing ratio. So we're gonna play around with that. We're gonna see if we can really find it. And then once we do the medium roast, that's it. We may try dark roast, but I don't know. We might just do that anyway. We'll see. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm all over the place, I think. Talk to you later.